but we're also dismantling, Crypticon, and because that was a couple days ago, it was hilarious. The Thrones, oh my God, the Thrones.
I saw them when they weren't quite done,
and when I saw the whole thing put together, I just went, oh my God, I have the most insane yet wonderful staff.
Oh, yes. I mean, there's a special kind of nutty around here.
Mm-hmm. It's just wonderful, and it's so much fun, and this is a really favorite time of the year for everyone at the office. So
yeah.
I love that we were able to do that.
Oh, very cool. Well, I can't wait to get the total numbers in from that event. I know that Fantasy Gift is always well received.
We do really well, and we were doing money for a charity and the whole thing, and there's always lines, and there were lines, and it's just wonderful.
Well, and everybody's happy to see you.
Oh yeah.
It's
all about the happy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're in the business of happy.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
And
so what have you found?
Well, I'm going to start with somebody who wasn't really happy.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. A 42-year-old man from Lisbon grew boobs and developed a micropenis when his testicles disappeared. You want to talk about a bad day. He's only the second adult male known to be diagnosed with something called bilateral anarchia, known as vanishing testes syndrome.
I mean, I know women who have had surgery, uterus removed, different things or stuff going on, and they try and they tuck their ovaries way up in a different part of their chest so that they can still have, estrogen and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And occasionally they can't find them.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never, but I mean, testicles have their own little home.
They have an official place, and it's easy to see where they are, generally.
I'm assuming this is something that can be taken care of with hormone shots and prostheses.
5-month course of intramuscular testosterone injections, and in the first few months, he reported having more energy, a sex drive, muscles got bigger, boobs began to shrink, and his voice lowered. But yeah, it's only the second. I mean, very, very, very rare. And all the guys are sitting out there going, "Thank God."
Yeah, you wonder if, wow, if it's happened before, but nobody said anything. But now
it's out there,
and
you never know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because it's like, I thought only my balls disappeared. I can speak out. Me too.
But like I said, they have injectable testosterone. They have fake testicles from people who have them removed because of testicular cancer.
Yes,
so you can be all put back together.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think in the pet version, they're called nudicles. I'm pretty sure. Did you know that they made those for dogs?
No, maybe I did. I don't know.
Yeah, well, and here's why. This is one of the stupidest things. They actually came out with this because there are men out there that will irresponsibly not neuter their male dogs because they can't handle it. And then, of course, what happens? Accidents and more puppies and
seriously,
dogs.
So someone came up with the fact
that if you have your dog neutered, they can put these in there so it looks like your dog still has balls, but he doesn't really. I'm not making this up. I'm pretty sure they're called nudicles.
I'm
speechless?
Yeah. Oh, I
mean, if a guy is that insecure that he has to buy fake balls for his dog because he questions his own.
I can't even imagine what a horrific partner that person would make to someone else.
Yeah.
Or what they would possibly teach their children about how to treat another human being. If you're so caught up in the physicalness.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
For a dog. I mean, I can see having your own replaced.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just that's mind-boggling.
I can say that Studio Dog Fred, who is not with us today, he's lounging at home. Studio Dog Fred was neutered. We got him from the Animal Humane Society, and they require it, which I love. That's perfect, right? But he doesn't know that he doesn't have any, and he's fine.
I'm pretty sure my cat does not know
Yeah.
that he does not have.
Yes, nor does our cat.
Yeah.
And he's got a happy life.
And I'm pretty sure my female cat has no idea it doesn't have a uterus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know. You know, I've been thinking a lot lately about Dr. Markey, and she is our. She's a PhD, and she's a sex researcher and professor. She is currently on loan to UNLV, so she's not local. She does let us know when she's going to be in town, though, and she stops by and records with us. But, you know, she's just popped in my head. She's such a fun guest. This study, I'm dying to ask her about.
Okay, you'll have to set that aside, and we won't chop it up for scratch paper.
No, we won't. But
so remember that if she comes into town over the holidays or this spring, we can ask her.
Oh, I'll remember.
Oh, you remember? Okay.
Oh, yeah. University of Glasgow did a study on... they studied facial expressions to find out whether people perceive pain and pleasure on other people's faces in the same way. And so they basically kind of went... There was a line that came down between Western culture and East Asian, and each observer looked at orgasm faces. They studied orgasm faces for this, okay? And they found that pain was rated similarly...
So, where did they get the orgasm face pictures? Did they mention that?
Nope.
See, they leave out the
best
important stuff.
Details. I don't know. Okay.
I'm just gonna...
But here's the funny thing about this, right?
Okay.
It's that, I mean, among so many things, but really, they perceive, the Western cultures and the East Asian cultures said, yeah, that looks like a pain face to me. They all identified the same looks as being pain, but Asians had smiling orgasm faces, and Westerners were more likely to look scared. I thought that was pretty funny. You know, I mean, I don't know.
Maybe it's the ingrained...
the puritanical bullshit?
Yeah, that we have. That sex is not supposed to be fun, or we're not supposed to enjoy it, or stuff like that. Or okay, well, women aren't supposed to enjoy it. And I don't... Oh my God, that is...
It's pretty funny. Yeah.
Oh.
But so who's, you know, sometimes you gotta wonder if they sit around playing quarters in these PhD, you know,
well, I'm
lounges.
also just, you know, imagining like Sean Connery and all the Scottish actors voicing the study like in some sort of
medical
podcast, which is totally cracking me up too.
Okay. Yes.
Oh, because I mean, honestly, you say Scottish, I just don't like it. I just start thinking Scottish actors. Yeah, life is good. Okay.
Ewan McGregor? He's a cutie patootie.
He's aging well.
Is he?
I think so.
I haven't seen him in a while. Why you're not having sex?
Let's see, because everything hurts. Sorry.
I've been
having
it wasn't a question.
I'm sorry. No, I'm having a lot of joint pain. We've had to work around some stuff.
Well, there's this whole article posted by a counselor. Her name's Denise Knowles, and she tackles some of the top reasons why people aren't having sex and offers kind of some suggestions. And I thought this was a pretty relevant article.
I love that you could not only could we find like who might be did something drunk and naked. But you could, you know, if you're curious, I'm sure what you're going through is out there in a responsible study.
Shrinking testicle syndrome.
Yeah.
I know.
But you know, why you're not having sex? I bet you anything that gets Googled a lot.
Yeah.
Why am I not? I'm gonna have to Google that later. Why am I not having? And I'm pretty sure sex probably is the top thing after that in the automatic fill-in thing.
Oh, for sure. The algorithm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, the first reason is technology, and that is growing as a reason that people are, you know, less sex, more devices, and not the kind that you sell.
So in other words, they're Netflixing and Netflixing. They're not Netflixing and chilling.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
And so, you know, whether you're, you know, always tapping on the social media or checking your work email, if you're, you know, depending on the percentage of time, you maybe need to, you know, turn it off at a certain point and make a concerted effort for couple time because people just grow distance, is what she's saying, which, you know, makes complete sense. This next one's pretty interesting. I feel fat. And it talks about people who are too busy worrying about how their body looks so that they can't enjoy sex. And their partners can say, I love you and you're gorgeous, I want you, whatever, but you have to work on yourself.
Yeah, I mean, how I feel about me or how most people feel about themselves tends to be a lot different than how their partner looks at them a lot of the times.
Yeah.
I always find that, I always thought it's like, they're just happy that you're naked.
Yeah.
It doesn't really, and that's pretty much, I've happy when a lot of, when naked happens.
Yeah.
I like naked.
Naked's good.
Mm-hmm.
Too tired. They talk about, making time to rest up for it, number one, but they also said, look, don't go for the full hoo-ha. Just try a couple little romance things if you really are ready to go to sleep. Just go ahead and take some time for a little bit. No orgasm. So some people say, that's the only benchmark for good sex, and they put too high of a bar, and so they start feeling inadequate and avoiding it.
I can see that.
Yeah,
It's going through there.
Yeah.
It's not the be all to end all. There's a lot of good stuff up to that point.
Yeah. Yeah. This one I've heard before. The kids can hear us. So they said if you have teenagers, set clear boundaries about them coming into your room. If you worry about the little guys, then go to the other part of the house while they're asleep if you're worried about it. But make sure that it really is the kids and not just an excuse that you're really worried about them hearing you.
Yeah, I think I'm assuming that like 100 years ago this was not an issue, because when people are sleeping like 14 people to a house, somehow 14 people happen because someone heard you having sex.
Right.
Yeah. This is a modern thing. When everyone has their own space and master suites and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But I suppose if you really, really, really enjoy being loud during sex and you don't want to wait, if loud is your thing, that could be an issue.
Yeah.
If you're not good at silent sex. Yeah.
The next one is you're not interested in your partner anymore. And, sometimes, if you spend too much time arguing, or if you feel that they've let themselves go or let you down, you need to make a decision as to what it really is and see if it's possible to fix. Otherwise, move on, she says. Porn preference. And she makes a careful delineation between watching porn is fine, especially when you do it as a lead-in. But if you like it better, then you need to examine why that is.
Yes. It's along with, not instead of.
Right. Right. And the last one is kind of interesting. You don't want it. Don't want sex. And she said, sometimes there are couples that some want sex more often than the other. But it's only really a problem if one believes it's because there's something wrong with themselves. So you've got to make sure that you talk about it. Like one may be hiding because they have erectile dysfunction or something like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Have you ever had an embarrassing sex accident?
Well, most sex are. I'm really tired. I'm dropping the microphone today. I'm pretty sure. I don't know.
Well, if it doesn't come to mind,
I don't know. I guess at the moment, but probably when I was younger, and now that I'm older, it's like I don't care.
So you don't get embarrassed. You just don't.
I'm pretty sure when I was younger, I may have been embarrassed during like farting or something, but or something. I'm thinking about it, but now it's like I'm too old for that. I just don't care.
So a recent survey actually polled 800 people. 99% of all participants noted that they had experienced some sort of incident in the bedroom. 45% admitted to having fallen out of bed while having sex. I've done that. 34% of women and 32% of men revealed they'd been accidentally hit by the other person during sex. Most common instance was head bumping, which I've definitely done that. 13% had accidentally urinated. 6% of men and almost 4% of women had accidentally done a number 2. And so, yeah. It happens.
It happens, yeah. At least, I'm assuming at one point they did mention that if you're really, really drunk, someone throws up during sex.
Well, there's that. Yeah, they don't remember it.
They don't remember it.
Yeah.
So bodily functions are probably all in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I like nice things, and I know you used to really fancy, awesome shoes. You don't wear heels anymore. But, like, I never got, like, the freakishly expensive stuff. A friend of mine recently, very nearby here in a very popular area, had her Louis Vuitton wallet just plucked right out of her purse when she was out to happy hour with her team. And the wallet alone was $1,000 wallet.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
yeah, so I mean, it was really bad. And I'm like, why would you have $1,000 wallet? If I had that much money in my wallet, I wouldn't have enough to put in my wallet. But I digress. The Fendi, so along those same lines, a $1,000 scarf. It's called The Touch of Fur. And pictures of this. Have you seen it?
Yes, I have.
The unintentionally obscene-looking scarf?
Yeah, it's like, what's the infinity scarf? You know, it's like an infinity scarf. It's a circle, but it's beige with fur.
Pink, kind of-ish.
Yeah, beigey pinkish or something. This is what I keep thinking that it's going to be a joke, or someone did something, or they did that, or it was going through there. And I'm just like, the one thing I did like about this is that we were talking about this in the last show, you know, that at least it shows bush.
Yeah.
But it is hilarious because, you know, like, but if you wear it, your head's like the clip.
There you go. I just don't want to. I don't want to make that suggestion. You know, because
that's honestly, I saw this and that's the first. I just went, oh no.
It also comes in blue and black, or red and black. They might be better choices.
I don't think so. No.
Not so much.
No.
I got kind of tickled. They've got some.
How do folks not see? Actually, you know what? I think they do see it. I think they put it out there to troll folks.
Okay.
I really do. There's just no way in hell you don't see that.
Yeah. Especially, you know, in Italy. They're notoriously upfront about such things. Proposal horror stories. And this was a thread, and I could not read these. And so a couple highlights were somehow this woman had found out that he was planning on proposing, so he took her on this big hike, and they were, you know, running around, and she's just didn't, you know, just kept cool. And after 2 days, she began to realize that he really didn't have a plan. And finally, he just, it took him forever to get up his nerve. And so it was the way she wrote about it.
So in other words, she wanted the proposal to happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, for a second I thought, you know.
But then
she's if she's waiting for 2 days to tell someone no, I mean that is.
Oh no.
Oh no.
No, but she did she got a little surly because she's like, he doesn't have a plan, he hasn't thought this through, and she got a little discouraged.
I see a lot of stuff like this, you know, into relationships, and I'm like, are they going to, like, not have a plan for how to redo the bathroom, or not have a plan
for life?
Or for life? You would think that to be something that you would talk about. I don't know.
Yeah.
I find some of the stuff, I mean, I'm like, I like the clickbait. I'll read these things, especially the couple stuff, because it all goes down to how people are relating to each other. But I'm just like, but the marriage one, I mean, the stuff involved in proposing is so fraught.
Get this. Okay, this one. I have to give this chick credit for how she writes, because it tickled me. During an obligatory Christmas visit to my parents, I remember how he took me nervously by the hand to the kitchen and proposed while my mother froze mid-stir and my father was illuminated by the light of the computer screen. The awkwardness hung in the air like an unmentioned fart.
You're just thinking, okay, so they went into the kitchen. I mean, they could even...
He did it in front of her parents.
But it wasn't like at the dinner table or sitting around with coffee afterwards. It's like, well, you know, then again, this person at least, okay, this is it. It was in his head, and it had to come out. Yeah. I mean, I think he was probably so freaked about it. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, people get this next one though. I can't. I mean, I have to admit, it's 2018, but to actually have to blurt those words out, that's not something that we've been socialized to have to do. It has to be just this thing.
Is it assumed, you mean? It should be just assumed, like in a discussion?
No,
more?
I mean, no, what I'm saying, but the guys, very few women ask.
Yeah.
They might have a discussion about it, but you're still waiting for the guy
I know.
to ask.
I know.
That's still there.
I know.
And
I know,
no
yeah.
wonder it's, it's like one of the last remaining things that they're still supposed to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they can't fuck it up.
Well,
Yeah, they do.
okay, this guy did, and this one I think is quite possibly my favorite. I don't know, it's a close runner-up to another one. The guy was they were driving the car, the guy and the woman, and he just turns to her and he goes, "Honey, are we getting married in June or July?" And she's like, "What?" Apparently, he had been thinking about it and planning it. He just assumed he'd actually done it. And, like, in his mind...
the
yeah.
deed had been done.
Yeah.
It was so big,
Yeah.
he thought he had done it.
I know. I can see that happening.
Okay, that's sort of sweet.
It's cute.
That one, yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that. I can see something. Yeah, there you go. It just was such a huge thing. How the guy got anything else done in his life?
Yeah. So another couple went to Barcelona, and he had bought a really nice big rock, and he was afraid he was going to get mugged carrying it around, until he was ready. So he left it in the room. So then they go back to the room, and he put it on. It was so big on her finger that it fell off her hand and rolled under this giant piece of furniture, and it took hours to get the thing. Anyway, yeah. So that was awesome. Yeah.
Now you've got a story.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I would, if I was proposed, you would like to have a story. But you think you'd like to have it be a little bit less frantic and more romantic.
I do kind of think, though, that the more goofy stuff that happens, I think rather than going, oh, it wrecked my...
Oh, if you can laugh about it.
Oh, yeah.
I think you got a good thing going.
Yeah, for sure. Finally, this one couple, this guy took a chick down to the lake, and they proposed. Everything went fine until a swan freaked out and came chasing them. And they have big beaks, man.
Oh, swans are nasty. And they're nasty, big. Nasty little suckers.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they're awful.
And I mean, I was walking Fred one day, right? It was in the spring. And I was walking around a golf course. Okay, and it's a walking track. I mean, it's in town, whatever. Well, a duck, a female mallard, had her ducklings, and they were baby, like right by the track. So Fred and I come innocently walking, and she comes rearing up and flips out. Well, have you ever seen a mallard try to protect little ducklings before?
No,
they
really.
Pretend to be wounded, but she was buzzing my head and flapping, and I'm like, oh, Jesus! And I'm sitting there, and Fred's like, whoa! And so, whatever, but what was so funny about it, so I'm trying to run away, and this duck is flying right by my head and flapping my head, and
she's no attention to the fact that she's actually accomplishing what she wants. You are leaving.
I'm totally leaving, and I can't. We tried crossing the street. She followed us across the street. I crossed back, and this goes on for a block and a half. This lady in a car was watching this whole thing, and she pulls over, and I'm like, I swear to God, I'm not harassing the duck. And she goes, it really looks more like the duck is harassing you. And I'm like, I'm fine. And I finally, about 2 blocks later, she finally gave up and went back. But she was trying to lure me away.
So that was a helicopter duck mom? I mean,
yeah. So I'm just telling you right now, this waterfowl, do not piss them off.
No, I have not been. I walked around Lake Harriet and Lake Spiegel an awful lot. I have never had a foul experience with fowl.
I've been chased by Canada geese. One of them bit me on the shin.
I think I'd smack it.
I was pissed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, it could be if you're just strolling.
I was jogging, and it came up and nipped me from behind, which I thought was like a sucker punch.
Yeah. That's
yeah.
Little bastards.
Yeah, I was pissed.
They're tasty, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Friend went hunting. This is eons ago. So delicious. Renaissance Festival, when everything was still sort of functioning out there.
Mm-hmm.
The bakery had wood stoves, and he brought out stuff. He spent all day cooking pheasants and geese and ducks and stuff like that. He'd done hunting. It was all stuffed with pineapple and done with bacon.
Ooh.
And since I played a servant character, I got to serve everyone, which means I got to nibble on all the lovely little bits. Oh my gosh, sorry. I I'm just having a little mild orgasm here.
No, you're fine. Please do enjoy. Do enjoy.
My memory just the smell of it and the taste just came flooding back into my head.
Well, good for you. And I'm glad it was a good memory.
It was a very good memory.
I'm happy for you. I'm going to do the two robot stories next to each other. So I'm going to do this other one first.
Megan is busy out delivering merchandise to the stores, and we do not have to terrify her with robot stories today.
Good old Meg. Okay, this is a story from, well, actually it was a survey conducted by sex toy company Eden.
Yeah.
You guys totally know them. 2,000 people, so it was a pretty good, sampling of people. What are the biggest turn-ons? And there are 3 words that are the top turn-on, and it's not "I love you." Any thoughts as to what it is?
Fuck me now.
That would be good.
Okay.
I'm sure that's on the top 10, but number 1 was "I like that." When you're doing stuff. Yep. So it was pretty neat. There's a couple other things though. 46% like sex toys in bed. 76% of respondents like that verbal reassurance. Nibbling on the ear was huge. Eye contact during sex was something that really got people going. Men, this one blew me away.
Okay.
76% of men said they liked performing oral sex on their partner. And consider it to be a turn-on, compared to only 56% of women. So 20% more men like giving oral sex, and I did not know that. 1 in 4 women, 23% precisely, reported going down on their partner was a turn-off. Anal sex, 52% of men, yes, 19% of women, and 57% of women consider it a complete turn-off. How does that explain the number of butt plugs that you sell?
I have no idea. The amount of anal toys we sell is it is amazing. I mean, it's just more and more and more. The display gets larger in all the stores.
And it's obviously that's because
people like anal sex and anal play.
Yep. Yep. Okay. So
maybe they still don't like to talk about it, but they certainly like to do it.
The top biggest non-sexual turn-on with 69% was smelling good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now, this is kind of humorous. 37 was noted as the kinkiest age for people.
37.
37. I quite honestly, 38 was a busy year for me.
37.
Yeah.
Really? Huh.
That actually fits right into my experience personally. But here's something funny. People say they're noticeably turned on, most people, 3 times per day. 1 in 5 say it's more than that. But here's the hilarious thing. The most likely time of day to be turned on, 2:46 p.m. So I'm like, okay, wait a minute. So horny hour is right before happy hour, right?
Oh, we've missed it by about an hour.
Oh, no.
I'm trying to think, what was I doing at 2:46? I was going through, some toys that were, that may or may not be non-functional, sitting at my desk. There was nothing corny about that. Not at all.
So there's a full list. We'll post the article on the Great Northern Sexcast Facebook page. But there's this whole list of the top turn-ons in bed and the top 10 non-sexual turn-ons. Kind of cool. The top 3 for non-sexual were smelling good, being affectionate, and making me feel appreciated. And they're all pretty close in rank there. So,
246 is going to stick into my head for a while.
Yeah, 246. Okay, so let's go to the robots now, shall we?
Okay.
The robot portion of the program.
Have we had drunk naked robots in Florida?
No.
Because that would be they have done everything that you can possibly do if you can finally get a robot to be drunk and naked in Florida.
Yes, or being drunk and naked, organic human being with a robot, that would still rank high for me.
Correct.
Checks a lot of boxes. So, in the UK, a woman, quite entrepreneurial, I might add, makes, she customizes and rents sex dolls for widowers, and she sort of makes them up to look like the deceased.
She rents them?
Mm-hmm. Now get this.
I'm confused. Okay.
She knows that these sex doll brothels are popping up, and she said, I'd seen a lot of press about the dolls. I wanted a different angle. She said, the stuff that's out there, that's we mostly hear about is seedier and more sexualized. She said, I wanted to approach it differently, more to help people that are seeking comfort or may find it difficult in social situations to approach others due to mental health or other situations. It's a very discreet service. Now, one of our biggest concerns about all this stuff is the cleanliness of them. Mm-hmm. Check this out. Once the dolls get returned to the company, they're thoroughly cleaned while the artificial vagina is removed and replaced with a brand new one.
Okay.
So and that's just in this company. I've not seen that spelled out before.
No, that's I still am freaked out by the renting and stuff like that.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's freaky. But that's one. Okay. The next robot story is, and this is actually pretty interesting. I'd like to see this. This is sort of a documentary. It's called I Want My Sex Machine. So a guy named Jimmy Mihail uploaded a sex robot to Tinder, and he wanted to see what would happen. And it's a film about robot brothels, but it's also an ethical investigation into sex bots and the dating scene. So this guy, he's 39 years old and he's in New York, wanted to find out how many people would be willing to sleep with a robot. And he used one of the very first created dolls, Harmony, got permission from the company, put her up there on Tinder. 56% of people polled said they would have intercourse with the robot. And her tagline was, I'm on Tinder to find out if guys are interested in me. So he ran the experiment for 2 hours on a Friday night from 9 to 11 in Manhattan. And he swiped right to like every guy that came up. In 2 hours, 92 matches came up. And then they took a poll. And the question was, would you have sex, yes, no, or maybe? Of the 57 people who responded, 25 said they wouldn't, 17 said yes, and 15 said maybe.
So they didn't know it was a robot?
No, they did. They did, because they revealed it.
Oh, but, I mean, that must have been one hell of a photoshopped picture. I mean...
Yeah, they did enhance it a little bit, but they did know.
Then they finally... Okay, I'm very curious.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Masturbation is part of sex, but But when they say you have sex with, I mean, they're masturbating.
Right.
Sex is with another.
Yeah. No, I know.
There's There's the umbrella of sex, but I can see that. Yeah, of course they. Yeah, what the hell? I'll stick my dick in it. I mean, the amount of things that there are to stick your dick in that were made or not made. It's just there's plenty of them out there.
Yeah. No, I know.
And I certainly prefer they would choose a doll over someone they didn't have consent.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This next one creeps me completely out, as if robot. And this is not a robot story.
It's not a robot story.
No.
Okay.
It's a husband story. After 18 years of marriage, this woman was upstairs. I guess their laundry room is upstairs in their house. And she was folding clothes, and she was just happened to be glancing, kind of out the window and, whatever. She saw her husband in their neighbor's backyard stealing undergarments. So she goes online and...
because that's exactly what you should do.
And throws it out there like, I'm really worried. Am I being unreasonable and wanting to confront him? And then all of the different responses... and a lot of them...
She knows the answer. The answer is, what the fuck are you doing in the neighbor's backyard? Stealing their underwear. Stop it.
Well, and, okay. So these people are like, well, why would you want to humiliate him? Another said, surely you would just ask him why he feels he needs to steal underwear. Mm-hmm. And then, I don't know. I mean, they were trying to shame her. One person said, it sounds like he's keeping a fetish from you. Hearing that you want to humiliate him, I can understand why he hasn't told you. And
he's stealing. What it is makes no difference, as per se.
I
to
think
some
that,
extent. You
I don't know. I watch a lot of the crime shows, and
The same
guys
thing.
that steal underwears usually escalate.
Yeah, I mean, the same thing. If the guy was in the backyard stealing the potted plants, I'd go, why are you stealing the potted plants? It's no different to why are you stealing the underwear off the line?
See, there you go, getting all rational again, Colin.
That's what I do.
So Kleenex, good old Kleenex,
Mm-hmm.
is going to rebrand their man-sized tissues after complaints that the name was sexist. So Kimberly Clark, the parent company for
Okay.
Kleenex,
I
will...
have not. So this is actually out there right now.
Oh, yeah.
I have.
They will now rename them Kleenex Extra Large. Packages describe them as confidently strong and comfortingly soft.
What were they named?
Man size.
Okay.
Man size. I'm watching Colleen just clench her face.
I don't understand why this is even a thing. You just grab a couple tissues and blow your snot out.
And if you have a particularly large issue, get more than one.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fine. I mean, I do like the fact that they're finally marketing something that would probably charge more for it. Because, I mean, hell, you slap pink on it, they charge more for it.
Bic got in trouble for trying to market pink and purple pens for her.
I know, that was hilarious.
Remember that? Designed to fit comfortably in a woman's hand.
And I mean, and women's razors cost more than men's razors, and the exact same disposable things.
I know.
God, it's insane.
Another company renamed its Gentleman's Smoked Chicken Caesar roll after, once again, complaints. And in Britain, they're discussing Pink Lady Apples, Lady Grey Tea, and Lady Fingers. So, what do you think about that?
Oh, okay. See, there's a line that makes sense, and then there's people that leap over the line. They went way the fuck over.
I guess I'm trying so hard to care that I'm tired.
Yeah.
You know, I have other things to do.
There are plenty of other things. Just going
To be upset about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
for sure. This is horrible.
Okay.
Woman catapulted from bed during sex is paralyzed.
Well,
Claire Busby was having sex in the middle of the bed, and they were moving around. The bed collapsed, and she was thrown from it. And her partner said he saw her roll backward off the bed and initially laughed, not unlike those awkward incidents we were talking about a few minutes ago, but then realized she couldn't feel her limbs. And so she's suing.
she broke her neck
And she is...
from the bed that collapsed.
Yeah. A lawyer for the bed company said the bed was, whatever her actions, they were too close to the edge of the bed. She simply lost balance and toppled backwards. So, I don't know.
I don't know. If the bed actually... But the bed frame actually cracked because something was going through there, but oh my god.
I mean, I feel really bad for the lady. I mean, that's pretty horrible. This has been making its way through the conventional news. Did you hear about Vermont? Fifth grade students were surveyed about their sexual history, preference, and gender identity. Did you hear about this? Windsor Elementary School.
Like I said, I've been sexual history. I can see a gender. I mean, being curious about. I mean, fifth graders. That's what 10 years old. They're not idiots. They watch the news. They know what's going on. I suppose if it was in a, that might be a little bit more age appropriate in junior high versus elementary school to ask someone, how do you see yourself? You know, so that the folks know that they're not alone. But I'm not sure you ask a 10-year-old what their sexual history is.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not saying, knowing, that some of them may not have it, depending on what's going on, but I don't know if it's, I don't know if the U.S. is ready for that yet.
Not according to one parent. The school did give parents a notice allowing them to opt their children out of it. But one parent stepped up and said, my daughter is 10, so are all the other kids. A sexual partner at 10 would be called sexual abuse. And they did develop, it was a domestic violence prevention group that was there conducting it.
Well, maybe they were trying to maybe it was a way of finding out whether or not kids were being abused.
Yeah.
I mean, what if someone answered, yeah, you could, go in and, they're mandatory reporters, I'm sure, for stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this mother did say, she's familiar with the group. She likes work that they do in other areas, but she didn't care for this.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Then she could have opted out.
She did, I think. But she complained anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So we've heard of self-driving cars and things like that. But researchers
Which
here...
I'm not behind at all.
What?
I'm not behind self-driving cars, unless, of course, you remove all non-self-driving cars off and give everybody a self-driving car.
Yeah, I don't know how the mix is going to work there.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. There's a company or a research organization in Boston that created a self-lubricating condom. Let that just kind of sit in there for a minute. Basically, it's a latex condom that lubricates itself when it comes into contact with body fluids. It was a very small study, but the preference, people did like it. They said they liked the way that it felt, and the coating attracts water, so it doesn't affect the strength of the condom or degrade it.
I'm gonna have to look into this, because the reason that you're using lubrication or that is a lot of times folks don't have enough, not because they don't want to or they're not into it, but there could be a lot of different reasons why you're not. So if you don't have enough moisture to begin with,
I know.
Yeah, I'm confused there. But I could see it being easier to put on when you're not dealing with a slippery condom and stuff like that. If it was,
What I'm wondering is if you just add water to it.
Mm-hmm.
Just add water instead of having to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they don't really make it clear. But I do think it's kind of funny that says supported by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. It's like, whatever, I mean. Well,
anything that gets someone to use a condom when they wouldn't. I don't care if you need this gimmick, go for it.
Yeah. Well, but if maybe it's just add water, which why not then just add lube?
Because I mean, what's my brother's website, just the Fantasy Gift New Jersey, they posted an article on something called rubber stalling. Just putting off talking about condoms as long as possible, hoping that no one will bring it up.
And I'm hoping that this article portrayed that as a bad idea.
Yes, it's a very bad idea. Because what about STDs and all that sort of stuff?
But just real quick, remind me, because I know you probably know this off the top of your head. Are there special lubes that are made to be used with condoms?
You really do want, it depends on what's going on with the toys, but and what's going through there, but almost all lubes can be used with a condom.
Okay.
You don't want to use oil-based or anything like that, because that will degrade the rubber. But a water-based lubricant or a silicone-based lubricant is good. I'd go for a water-based, because then you don't have to worry about it. Okay. But you definitely don't want to use anything that's oil-based. And it's amazing, it's really, really important to not use any oil-based things, because that will degrade a condom.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, that's pretty much all I've got. I mean, everybody's pretty tame this week. Nothing too terrible. No turtles on the loose in inappropriate places. So kind of a tame week for the Great Northern Sexcast, but God knows anything can happen before next week.